Hello. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, and if you are currently in the studio, can you please which I this the link I sent the previous time had an error, so I shared another link in your email right now. So if you are currently in the studio, I would say that you check your email and use the new link that you received, because even right now the studio is full, our guests cannot join. So I sent a new link to everybody. Use the new link. It's a YouTube link. It will take you straight to YouTube. Use that new link to join. So those of you that are currently inside the studio, that use the StreamYard link, if you can leave and use the YouTube link to join, please. Oh my goodness. Wow.
How many people did you have in total? Will the Zoom
Hello. Yeah, we are trying to. Can you guys hear me now? For those of you inside the studio, can you please go to your email and check using the new link you sent? You should join using the YouTube link. And those of you on Facebook, you're welcome. We are just trying to get things sorted here. We have more. Angela, are you trying?
Yeah, it's still telling me that if I click try again, it tells me that the studio is full.
So, guys, hold on. I'm trying to fix it up here, and we'll be live soon. Okay, so just be patient. Oh my goodness, I don't know when we finish this thing today.
Is this something we can just reschedule and be like more, we had much more than we anticipated, so we have to find a bigger, a wider application like that can take more people or something like that, and we move it to a different day. I don't know, just thinking in my head. Please, Emmanuel, Emmanuel, can you please let me put on the lights, please? Let me put on the lights, please.
Hello, everyone. There are some of you that are inside the studio that use the StreamYard link to join. That StreamYard link was not supposed to be shared with everybody. So if we shared a new link via your email, please join using the YouTube link so that you'll be able to ask questions, make comments, and everything. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please, in the comments, say yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I see the yes is coming. Yeah. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Wow, man. um, a lot of you said you've been waiting for hours, and it's good to have you guys here. Sometimes you plan some things, but technology, I made a mistake with the link and I shared the wrong link, and I'm sure that some people are outside waiting because they are using the wrong link, and that was my fault because I mistakenly shared the wrong link, and I've reshared the link. So if you have like friends who were supposed to be here, if you can let them know that they should check their emails again, I shared the link again at exactly 2 o'clock. So if you have friends who are meant to be here, you can let them know that the link was shared again to their email, and they should join using the link that has like a YouTube on it. So like the YouTube link, that is the link to join with. Okay. Yeah. So let's get down with it. I have Angela here in the studio with me. I'm going to share my screen. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. I know that tomorrow is a work day, right? So um I want us to get things done quickly and we can all go to bed. Everything is filled today. Can everyone see my screen? I've been talking to myself. Okay. Angela, when I start sharing my screen in full screen, I won't be able to see anything here, like comments or anything. So if some people say they can't hear me. Oh my goodness. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, I think I was muted. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen now. Do you guys see my screen? Okay. So Angela, when I go on full screen mode, I won't be able to see anything on the chat. So you will help to monitor the chat.
Okay.
Are you able to control the slides as well, or is only me that can control it?
I think it's just you.
Okay. 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 Hello everyone. Welcome to today's presentation. Like I said, I mistakenly shared the wrong link, and again by 2 o'clock we shared another link. So if you know anybody that's supposed to be here that perhaps is not aware, or they are not aware that they got the link, because some people are outside waiting in the wrong place. So just contact them and let them know so that they can join using the right link. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 simple things you need to do when you're applying for your Canadian study visa. Today's webinar is going to be focusing on Canadian study visas. However, you would notice, or what I can say is that visa applications across different countries, they are similar. Requirements may change a little bit, but again, the framework when it comes to visa application is similar across any country that you are applying to. So we have here with us Angela. She's going to introduce herself, and I'm going to give the floor now to Angela. Angela, I'll be controlling the screen, so when you want me to go next, you can let me know. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Zeno. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Angela Ogundele. I'm the CEO of Iskaris Immigration. I'm a licensed, regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I'm also a commissioner of oath in the province of Ontario. I basically work on Canadian immigration, different aspects of Canadian immigration, study permits, work permits, permanent residencies, visitors visas, citizenship, business, and entrepreneur applications. It's nice to be here. We sincerely apologize for the glitch. But yes, we're here today to tell you and answer your questions on Canadian study visas and any questions or information you might need in regards to that. So in Iskaris, what we do, as I mentioned earlier, is admissions, visa processing, and every form of immigration service. So at this point, I'll hand it over to Zeno to introduce herself.
Okay, many of you may already know me. My name is Zino Ojogbo. I'm a co-founder of Success Factors Migration. What we do is that we empower immigrants with the knowledge. We are knowledgepreneurs. We empower immigrants with the knowledge and the skills that they require to relocate and thrive in various high income countries globally. Now, I try to emphasize on relocate and thrive, because it's one thing to relocate, it's another thing to thrive. It is important that you are able to balance the two that you're able to thrive once you have relocated. So our flagship SaaS masterclass training, you may have heard me talk about the study abroad masterclass, where you learn how to secure admissions, scholarships, and loans so that you can relocate abroad, is what that's our flagship program, and that's what many of you probably know. And we have been doing this for over 5 years, and we have helped participants to secure over 3 million. In fact, we're heading towards 4 million in scholarships to relocate to various high income countries in the world. At Success Factors Migration, we offer a range of information products to equip you with the knowledge and skills you need to relocate and thrive globally. So we have our solutions that we have the SaaS Study Abroad Masterclass. We have the Study to Relocate email list. How many of you here are on my email list? Show of hand, just say hi or no, yes, no. How many of you here on my email list? We share gems in the email list. How many of you are there? If you're not on my email list, you really need to get on the email list. When this is done, I'm going to share the link to join the email list. You need to get on the email list just you can so that you can so that you can thrive and you can get the information that you need to succeed in your relocation journey. We also have your personal study abroad agency. This is one of our new solutions that we recently launched. And using this, we help people that can self-fund. By self-fund, I mean that you have money to pay your tuition, so you're not trying to get scholarship or loans. People that can self-fund, we help them. So this is a done for you program. People that have money to self-fund and pay their tuition, we help them to process their admission. All they need is from us is admission. Then we also have the global expatriate movement. This global expatriate movement is a movement of like getting towards, this is a thriving part of after you have relocated. So it goes into relocating when you arrive as a student, getting your permanent residence or getting your postgraduate work permit if need be, your permanent residence, buying a home, doing investments, becoming a Canadian citizen. So actually it is a movement. We have a mission, and that is what global expatriate movement is. So I'll hand it over to Angela. She's going to go now deep into the topic for today. I know that we came here to learn how to apply for visas, and here, let's do that now.
Okay, thank you for that, Zeno. So now we're going straight into the study visa session. And we're going to start with telling you well, not stories, but about two different applicants. Now, the immigration process for a study visa to Canada could be complex. Sometimes one person's profile or situation would necessarily not be the same as another person. So, because you both had money in your account, does not mean that both of you would get your visas, right? So, in applying for a study visa, you need guidance, you need training. The It's complex, but at the same time, it is something you can do yourself if you want to. And if for any reason you decide not to do it yourself, instead of paying to an agent that would impersonate you and apply as you, it's better to apply to go through a regulated, licensed immigration consultant. Zeno, the next slide, please. Okay, so this is an example of something that is called a GCMS note. So GCMS notes, when is usually for those that after you've been refused a study visa, a work visa, you would get a document called a GCMS note. So some of the reasons why a visa application will be refused is when your supporting documents are inadequate. So, what are supporting documents? It could be your bank statement. It could be your bank statement or your proof of funds. It could be your educational transcripts. It could be an error in your business registration documents, incomplete proof of funds, a study plan that is inadequate. When you have completed an application, sometimes you could make mistakes. It's normal that you make mistakes in your application, but this is usually drawn from a lack of experience or a lack of knowledge in what to do. So, for example, the GCMS note we have on file that was showing you, the person was rejected because they had a bank statement. Their bank statement had over $125,000. That is the amount they had in their bank statement. They also had properties. They had car registrations. But you can see that even with $125,000, you'll be wondering why on earth would their application be refused? The In this situation, the person had this large amount of money, and they said that they were employed, but they did not show any proof that they were actually employed. A proof of employment would be like a letter, a verification of employment. So this person had tuition, which was not included in their calculations. I know that many people say that you don't have to pay tuition to get visa. Tuition is not mandatory for you to get visa as long as it is not a requirement for the educational institution that you're going. If your educational institution requires that you pay a certain amount of money, you have to pay that amount of money. If you don't, your visa will be denied. Then also, when you're doing your study plan, they need to see. I know that for some of us, we like getting samples, or we like just drawing out from what somebody else has written. You should be able to know why you want to study. Why do I want to study in Canada? Why do I want to take this program? What is the value of this program to me? What have I done before? What am I doing now? So you can see, for example, this in this GCMS note, the person already had a bachelor's in engineering and they already had a master's, and now they wanted to go back to do a postgraduate diploma, or a college certificate in technology security. The visa officer didn't think it was a reasonable expense. So even though they had the money, even though they had the properties, they had the proof of funds, they had everything, they did not pay their tuition, even though they had 125,000, which really doesn't make sense. And also they were switching from a master's to a certificate program, which their study plan did not adequately explain. So that is one reason. Zeno, let's go to the next slide. So in the past, excuse me, in the past couple of years, we can see that the rejection rates have increased. And the reason that these rejection rates have increased is, as many of you would know, when you go on Instagram, when you go on Facebook, you would find companies, even in Nigeria, that advertise that they provide proof of funds. So right now, no matter how much you have in your bank account, if you have your proof of funds and you're not able to show your source of funds, then the visa officer would have questions, because you might as well have borrowed that money from a microfinance bank. You might as well have borrowed the money from a friend. So for every time you're showing your funds, you should also show where those funds are coming from. But even outside the funds, majority of the refusals are based on very simple mistakes. For most of you that prefer to use agents because they give you guarantees, now nobody can give you a guarantee for a Canadian immigration visa. Even the Prime Minister of Canada cannot give you a guarantee, because you're applying online. You don't even know where your application would go. If it would go to the UK, if it would go to Nairobi, to Kenya, like, you don't even know where your application would go, or if it will come to to Canada. So when someone gives you a guarantee, or they give you something that is called a total package, it's just a scheme to get money from you. There's nothing like that, because nobody can guarantee you that you would get a Canadian visa. So so visa rejections can be based on very minute mistakes that you have to look into adequately when completing the application process. Zeno, the next slide, please. Okay, so now those were just talks. Now we're going to the 5 steps to your Canadian study permit success. So, in Iscari's immigration, as at today, the 20th of November 2023, we've had over 500 successful applications. And we've used these 5 simple steps to help us, which I'm going to share with you. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's not rocket science. You can do it yourself. But if you decide not to do it yourself, please do not use an agent that would impersonate you. Look for a licensed immigration consultant that you can work with. So, in your journey in applying to come as a student, the first thing you require is admission, and that is what will fall under institution requirements. Under institution requirements, as many of you may know now, or even if you don't know, well, this is new information for you, that going forward, IRCC will validate every letter of acceptance and every admission letter that they receive. If they receive an admission letter from you and it has not gone through the process of verification, even if it's actually from that institution, your application may be denied. So when we say institution requirements, what are we talking about? The first thing is, when applying to a school, you should make sure that your school is something that is called a designated learning institution. What does that mean? It's just that the school is registered as a public funded school or as a private funded school in a specific province. Now, you should also make sure of the status of your institution with IRCC. We have some schools that don't have a good name with IRCC, and the reason is because many students in the past that have applied to these schools, they end up going to apply for as refugees, or they drop off from school and they don't finish, or they have trouble paying their tuition. So you have schools that fall under that category, and IRCC is beginning to take note of that school. Also, make sure that even though your school is a DLI, your school is able to offer you something that is called a PGWP, a postgraduate work permit, except if you have the intention of going back home after your studies, then you can go to a school where they don't offer postgraduate work permit, but it would make sense that your school is able to offer you a postgraduate work permit when you are done. The next the next one, Zeno, am I missing any points with institution requirements?
No, I think you covered everything. Just so that
Okay.
one
The
thing that you mentioned.
reputation. Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Thank you. So that your school is a DLI, your institution has a good reputation, whether it's a public or is a private, privately funded school, that you meet. Also, make sure that you meet the admission requirements of that school. Now, not all schools are the same. Some schools would require you to have the English exam, the IELTS, the IELTS exam. Some schools don't care for it. Some schools will require you to have a reference letter. Some schools don't care for that. Some schools would ask you to pay at least half of your tuition. So, say for example, your tuition is $10,000. Some schools would ask you to pay $5,000 at a certain date. Some schools don't do that. They'll just ask you to pay maybe 500 or 1,000 or 2,500. So, know the requirements of your school. Also, know the deferral policy of your school. So, if for any reason you're not able to continue the process, or for some reason you get stuck with funding, is your school able to defer your admission? Or is your school the type of school that would tell you that, oh, we don't defer admissions and we don't return tuition deposits? So please, it's important to know the refund policy of the educational institution, as well as the deferral policy of the educational institution. So the next one we're going to would be fund. Can we go back to the slide? Will be affordability and funds. Okay, thank you. Okay, so when you talk about affordability and funds, how much are you willing to spend for your tuition? How much are you willing to pay? I met somebody yesterday that had come in with an agent, and the agent just told them, just go in there, and when you get there, you settle yourself somehow. It doesn't happen that way. You can't just come in and settle yourself somehow. It just doesn't happen. The agent went ahead to begin to talk to this person to claim refugee and all that. And the person was like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. So when I was speaking to the person, she's like, oh, but I don't have school fees. My first question was, when you completed your application, how did you show your proof of funds? How can you say you don't have school fees when you showed the Canadian government that you have enough money for your studies for 1 year? So if you're coming in thinking you'll just go claim refugee, or they don't tell you the entire story, they don't tell you that you get detained, they don't tell you that you could go through the refugee process for 5 years and at the end you might not get anything and you get stuck. They don't tell you that when you come in and you don't have tuition and you're not registered in a school that you lose your status. There are so many things that these agents don't tell you because they don't even know what they're doing in the first place. So when you come into the country, you get stuck and you're wondering what to do. And at the end of the day, you're deported or you begin to jump from province to province because you don't have a legal status to stay in the country. But that's for that. Let's go to so just make sure that you have the funds to come to school. If you don't have the funds to come to school, you can explore scholarship options. And that is where Zeno comes in, where she teaches people about how to get scholarships and all that. Don't just come in, borrow money, and you return the money and you come in, hoping that when you come in, some miracle will happen and some money will jump from somewhere and come to you. It doesn't happen that way. It does not happen that way. So make sure that you have your money. If you don't have your money, apply for scholarships or you save towards your plan. There's always, you don't have to be in a hurry to come in. You can save towards your plan. So make sure that you have your funds. If you have a sponsor, maybe your parents, your uncle, your siblings, make sure that even when they are showing the proof of funds, they are also showing the source of funds. If they are employed, then they would need to show their employment letter. If they have a business, they need to show their business registration documents. Now, showing business registration documents is not enough. The business has to be an active business. So if you have $100,000 in your bank account, you show a CAC document, and IRCC goes online and they see that the business is an inactive business, your application will be denied. So showing documents is not just enough. You have to make sure that that um, that that business um, is is active. If you're using study loan, that is fine as well. You need to know what the study loan requirements are, and you'd provide that as well. So we also gave an example of a GCMS note where it says for this person, they say that they said that their brother-in-law would finance them, but there was no documentation to confirm what their relationship is. um, then also, even though they were, the immigration officer saw them more as a financial sponsor than a family member. So you need to also try to tie your proof of relationship if you have a sponsor. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the letter of intent. Your letter of intent has to be true, it has to make sense, it has to be convincing. The program that you want to study, why you intend to study that program, what value the program would be to you, and if it actually follows a natural progression. So, for example, you've done like in Nigeria, it happens a lot where you probably were a science student in school and you studied microbiology, but you came out and you started working in the bank. If you've worked in the bank for 10 years, for 15 years after you studied microbiology, a natural progression would want you to take a program in finance or accounting or administration based on whatever you've done in the bank, and not going back to something that you did 15 years ago in school in the sciences, because sincerely you wouldn't even remember any of those. We also have a GCMS note here that talks about a study plan being vague. There was no clarity as to your career path. You can't have done science 15 years ago and be in the financial field for 15 years, then you're trying to go back to the sciences again after 15 years. Is it possible to do so? Yes, it is, but then your study plan or your letter of intent should be detailed enough to show what the sequence is and what your end goal is. So that would be for the letter. And I'm going through it fast because I know we don't have time. Um, the next thing we have would be your ties to your home country. We call everything ties, right? Everything is your ties. Your home ties is basically your family. Excuse me. Your economic ties would be anything you own in your country of residence, and your financial ties would be your finances, your stocks, your bonds, your treasury bills, your pensions, or anything that you might have. And also for this one, we've attached a GCMS note that specifies about the ties. It says, I'm not satisfied on balance that the proposed studies would be a reasonable expense given the lack of economic motives to remain in home country. And that usually is if you don't have a job, you don't have a business, you don't have anything in your home country. So it says that the applicants' incentives to remain in Canada may outweigh their ties to their home country, and not satisfied the applicants would leave Canada at the end of their stay as a temporary resident. Next slide, please. Okay, now we go to admissibility. Admissibility is basically what qualifies you to come into the country based on your background check and your medical check, right? So there are two of them. For the criminal admissibility, is usually your police certificate where they check if you've been involved in a crime, no matter what type of crime it is. It could even be abuse in the home, domestic abuse. Any criminal check at all would would comprise of all those areas. If you've ever been reported to a police, if any case has been filed against you, that is where they check. And usually on your IRCC page, it comes up as background check. For medical admissibility, it has to do with your health. How well are you? How strong are you? Do you have HIV? Are you pregnant? Do you have enough funds to help you with whatever sickness that you might have or not? So those are all the things that they look at with medical admissibility. For some schools, they include insurance into your admission, like your tuition. When you pay tuition, you also pay part of your insurance. And for some schools, they do not. If you need additional insurance, it is something that you would have to get by yourself. Okay, that is all about admissibility. Um, just be one moment here. Okay, so that is for admissibility. I sincerely apologize. We had to rush through this. So those are the five ways, like the five things that you should look out for: your institution, your funds, if it's something you can afford, your letter of intent or your statement of purpose, your ties to your home country, and if you will be admissible into the country. At this point, we would go to questions and answers. I know we had to rush through them. We sincerely apologize. So, yes, at this point, I'll give it back to Zeno for questions and answers.
Okay, so I'm just going to stop sharing here so that I can see. Um, so that I can see everyone. Yeah. So yeah. Now Angela shared the 5 things, and I would like to state it here for everybody's knowledge to know that all of these 5 things that she has shared, each of them are pregnant with different things. So when I say pregnant, I mean that there's a lot of consideration that you should give into each of these things, right? So like when you talked about proof of funds, there are some things you can do when it comes to showing proof of funds, and there are some things that you should not do when it comes to showing proof of funds. So that's what I mean by each of them: admissibility, each of these steps, each of these 5 things have other things under them, like in detail. So now I'm going to open the floor for us to ask questions. If you have questions, please type your questions in the question box. We are going to use spend 20 minutes going over the questions. Please, when you are typing your questions, if you have multiple questions, put all your questions in like one chat. If I would say that, put all your questions in one chat so that when we get to your turn, we would read. So that I want to give everybody the opportunity. Well, not everybody though, because we have a lot of people here. So I want to give most people the opportunity to be able to ask their questions. So put your questions in the chat. For those of you that for those of you that are backstage, I would say that if you can leave the backstage and go and join using the YouTube link. I'm going to share the link here now. Join using the YouTube link. I don't know if you can make any comments when you are backstage. So I'm going to put the link here. So if you are backstage, join here so that you too can also participate. I've shared the link. Oh wow, why does the link look that way? I don't know. The link looks strange. Okay. I have to share the link again. Okay, so I'm going to start reading the questions now, and then Angela can answer it. So please keep your questions related to like study visas and yeah. So this first person, Gina, says talking about funds, is Empower a good option? Can school consider someone coming exclusively through loans? Angela, you're muted.
Sorry. Okay, so the schools have nothing to do. The schools don't care whether you're coming with a loan or not. The school is, as long as you pay your tuition, they're fine. So yes, Empower, you can use Empower. You only need to make sure that you put your documentations together properly for the visa officer to know that okay, you're getting a loan and you have funds to take care of the loan during your studies or after your studies.
Okay, so this one has to do with sponsorship. So I'm going to put the 2 questions together. One person is saying if your dad is your sponsor, so your dad or your family member is your sponsor, who is going to show the proof of funds, your dad or the applicant? That's one. And the second part of that question is, can a non-family member be your sponsor? Let's say a friend. How can you prove it?
So the first question is, would whose bank statement would you be showing? So if your dad is your sponsor and the money has always been in his bank account, I would I would use my dad's bank statement with a letter of sponsorship. Now it now depends. If you're a 40-year-old man and your dad is your sponsor, you need to be able to put your documentations together in a way that explains why a 40-year-old man is being sponsored by his father. Um, and so it depends on who has the money. There's no point if your account has always been reading 000, 10,000, 5,000. There's no point transferring 300,000 to you at one point. It doesn't make sense. Just use your sponsor's bank statement and get a letter of sponsorship. Now if the person is not a family member, you would need to explain what their vested interest is in you going to school abroad. Like, why would they want to sponsor you if they are not a family member? Then, if you have any proof of your relationships over the years, it could be messages, it could be email, it could be pictures. You can use those as part of your documentation.
Okay, so this one has to do with name. On my international passport, I have a name that is not on my other documents, like my O level. Would there be any challenges during my visa processing on my documents, and what would be your advice?
Where if the name is not on your So is it the first name? Is it the middle name? Is it the last name? So it depends on it depends. So say for example, my name is Angela. Okay, so let's say I had my maiden name, right? My maiden name is a Igbo name, but my married name is a Yoruba name. Now, if you look at my school documents, from my name, you'll be like, oh, this person is Igbo. If you look at my married documents, you'll be like, oh, this person is Yoruba. So it depends if it's your maiden name and your married name. There's always proof. If it's a name that you adopted, you should have a documentation that shows proof that it's a name that you adopted, or attach an affidavit to your documentation. So it just depends on which name we're talking about.
Okay, how can I show source of funds?
I think we spoke about that already.
Oh
If
yeah, okay.
your source of funds, if you're employed, then you'll be showing an employment verification letter. If you have a business, you'll be showing a business registration document. If you're a retail person, if you have invoices, if you sell and buy, you have invoices, should be able to put all those together and show them.
Okay, so this one says, how about a man who wants to travel with three kids and a help? So what people that want to travel with house help, gate man, cook, and whatnot? I think that we need to
Yeah.
address these people generally.
Yes, you can. You
They
can,
can
as long
travel
as you have.
with their
Sorry.
help. They can apply with their help, like the
Yes,
house.
they can. If you have them, they are called living nannies. If you want to travel with your living nanny, as long as you have their consent and you have the funds for their upkeep, you can travel
So are
with
you going
your.
to apply? What kind of visa do they apply for the living nanny? Are they going to apply together?
It
Are they
would
going to go through the nanny child care pilot or something?
No, they would apply for a. So it depends on what they're coming in for, right? So if they're coming in for a visit, the nanny gets a visit visa. If they are coming in for study, now it depends on who is coming in for study. The nanny will still get a visit visa. Then when you come in, you begin to look for other ways to keep them if that is the plan.
Person, okay. So what does it mean to say you are ineligible for the study permit?
Because sorry, Zeno, because for the nanny you can't apply for the um the caregiver program because it requires you to be living in Canada and have a certain level of income in Canada. So that's why that program won't work if you're coming in with a nanny. Sorry, I just thought to add that in. What was the next question? Sorry.
What does it mean to say you are ineligible for a study permit?
You are ineligible for a study permit means that you did not meet the requirements of the five things that we mentioned earlier.
Okay. How do you calculate proof of funds for a 4-year program, BSc? This was tailored to people going to graduate school, but yeah, somebody that's going for a bachelor's degree just managed to sneak in. Okay.
So the requirement is that you show at least 1 year. The requirement is not that you show your entire 4 years. So, but of course, if you have the funds, you're welcome to do that. So there's a table. I think Zeno helps um, with that, where you put what your tuition is for every year, what your upkeep would be for the 1 year or for the 4 years, and what other expenses that you might need, the amount. IRCC has all these amounts on his website, so that is basically how you do your calculation. But the requirement is just 1 year. You're not required to show funds for your 4 years of study.
Okay, so is it advisable to use Binance statement of account as proof of funds? That's like, you know what Binance is? Is one of those crypto accounts.
No, it
Okay,
could be it could be an addition, but it can't be your main document.
okay. What if my sponsor is not employed and doesn't have a registered business, but is into a business of clearing and forwarding? How do we handle it?
I think we mentioned that before. They would have a bill of lading, they would have invoices, they would have like different things that shows that they are into this business. You can put that together, and that is where documentation comes in, right? It's just the way you put in your documents, the way you organize it. You can make them from schedule 1 to 10, explaining each document that you want to submit.
Okay. Can a retired pensioner be your sponsor?
Oh yes, we have many pensioners that send their children to school. There's always a statement of pensions that you can use.
Okay. I think I get a lot of these people in my DMs too. What specific tips can you give a single mom looking to apply for visa with a kid, especially for those ones who maybe the father is not in their lives, or maybe the father is there, but the father may not want to give a consent, or those like some of them parents are at large, the father rather, or the other parent. Let me not just say the father, the other
Mother at
parent, the
large.
single parent, the other parent is not available to give like a consent, or is not giving the consent or something. Like single parents, how do they handle the situation?
So for single parents in that situation, you can always get, if you have any legal documents, you can use them. If you don't have any legal documents, you can always explain what your situation is, and attach proofs. So for example, you've been messaging the mom or the dad and sending emails, and they are saying no, and they're not accepting. If you have proof that the child has been with you, and you've been the sole custodian of this child, you can attach all those proofs to complete your application. You can't forge signatures. If you forge signatures and they catch you, that would be misrepresentation. You can't do that. You would explain as much as you can. If it's not working, you can, if it's possible, you travel alone first. If that is a possibility, then your child can always come for a visit or something after you've gone, after you've left the country. But if you must live with your child, then it's just facts and numbers, right? Put all your facts together, put all your proofs together, and use them for your application.
Yeah, there's someone I know who also is a single mother who has been taking care of the child all alone. The father is like, in fact, nobody knows the father's whereabouts. And what she did is that she like he brought a letter from their church, from the sons, from the child's school, showing that yeah, there have been no father present. It's all the mother paying fees, taking care of the child and whatnot. Yeah. So when she got that and she put all of that information together, her visa was granted without even asking her for letter of consent or any whereabouts of the father. And it's important that we put this thing ahead, like when you are submitting your application, you've already explained all of these things,
Yeah,
because sometimes yeah, visa can come denied just because the visa officer was not clear on something, and you'd be like, yeah, it's vague, we don't understand what you said, they
yeah.
denied. If you put it up front with your application, then your chances of getting approved is higher. Okay. Wow, the questions are like 1 million. I don't know if we can take all of them, but I will
I
try.
don't think
So
so.
let's talk about home ties. There's someone saying I would like more explanation about home ties. Would having a wife go a long way help him with this? So I want to group the home ties question because I've seen a few of them here. So people are wanting to know about home ties. Some people, the young ones, maybe young graduates who are like 22 years, they just graduated from school, they have not been employed before, they don't have any assets, like no economic ties, they are not married, no children. How can they show how can they show home ties? And people that are living outside of their temporary residence. So somebody from Nigeria, but they live and work in Dubai. How can they show ties? So let's group the home ties together.
So for someone that doesn't have a spouse or children, you have your parents and your siblings, right? If you don't have parents and siblings, you have some form of family. If you don't have any family at all, then you have your church buddy, your social circle. There's usually like a group of people that you are attached to, that you have. So home ties, yes, they are your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, your wife, your spouse, your children. If you don't, you at some point in life, you definitely would have either or if you, even if it's somebody that you've had a relationship with for 10 years or for 5 years, you're not married yet, there's still that proof of that, those relationships that you can use. So I believe I answered that question, right? That is not just
Yeah.
okay. Then if you're living outside your country of citizenship, as long as you're legally living in the country that you're in and you have a valid legal status that goes above the 6 months period, if your legal status, so you have a documentation that shows that you are allowed to live in this country for this number of years or number of months, then yes, you can use it. If you're a visitor in another country, you can't apply from that country, right? You need to either be on a work visa, on a study visa, or even be a permanent resident in in that country. As long as you have your documentation to show your status and it shows the duration of your status. If it's 3 months, if it's 4 months, 5 months, no, you can't use it. If it's 6 months and above, you can go ahead and use it. If your family is not with you in that country, then you can still, of course, add a letter showing that, okay, back home, my family is there. These are the ties I have in my home country. Now, that is why you have your home country and you have your country of residence, right? So, your home country or your country of residence might not necessarily be the same at a point in time in your life. So, that's why you need to be able to differentiate them and just provide adequate proof of your legal status in that country.
Okay. So this one is asking if they are going to do a second program in Canada for the proof of funds for a second year program. Do I have to show proof for the second year fees after I paid the first semester? After I paid the first semester fees of the first year? Well, this question is quite confusing.
No, no, you don't have to. I think they're just asking that do they have to show that they have money for their second year if they've paid the first semester of the first year. No, you don't. You're only required to show 1 year, as I mentioned earlier.
Okay. Let's see. Can my 17-year-old daughter accompany me on a study visa and clock 18 years next year?
Yes, yes, she
Going for
can.
a postgraduate diploma after having a master's degree in Europe or Nigeria, what's the probability of getting a visa?
It depends on how strong your arguments are, really.
Yeah, really, with visa applications
It
too,
depends on how strong your arguments are,
there's
yeah.
nothing struck in stone. Yeah, how strong can you argue your case? If you can argue
Mhm.
it very well, of course, it's everything. It's possible. A lot of things are
Possible,
possible, but
yeah.
how do you present it? Yeah, you have to make it make sense to the person that is going to be reviewing your application. What is advisable to apply at once with husband and a kid or just student? And how long should they wait to apply if the student goes first? Okay, so this is one part of that question. I've seen on that part where some people are worried that okay, I've used my family as ties, like my wife and my children as ties. When I get to the country, how will I now say I want to apply for my ties? So these are two parts to the question. Should they apply together, or if you are, and then if you've used them as ties, can you still apply for them?
So you can apply together as a family if you meet the financial requirements. So for example, if you're coming in as a single person and you need $10,000, if you're coming in with five other people, then you need more money to cover up for the other five people that you're bringing in. Now, even if you've used them as ties to your home country, when you come into the country, especially when you're coming in as a student, your spouse is able to get a spousal open work permit, which is what you would apply for them anyways. And in that way, they qualify to come in with your children as well. So I guess that is where I would leave that at. Like so it's fine. You can come in on your own if you have the financial prowess to meet to cover everybody, or you can come in on your own and on after you've spent maybe 1 month or two, you apply for a spousal open work permit for your spouse to join you with your children.
Okay. Can my husband be my sponsor and also a dependent on the visa?
Sorry, what was that question?
My husband be my sponsor and also a dependent on the visa. So the husband is both sponsor and is also applying as a dependent spouse.
So that means that the person wants to come with their spouse and it's the spouse that is sponsoring.
Yes.
Mm, yes, but you would need a lot of work with your documentation because if they are the my recommendation would be no, because if your sponsor is coming with you, then how would they get the money to continue sponsoring you?
Yeah, that
Right?
makes sense.
Except that's why I said it depends on the situation, depends on what documentation you're showing that they are my sponsor, but even if they don't work for the next 5 years, we are okay.
Yeah.
Right? So
Okay. I was denied visa in 2019, a tourist visa, and then I was not married. And the agent, you see why I say we have to be careful with agents, and the agent seeks annulled marriage for me. What is my fate as it is showing on my GCMS notes as annulled, but now I am married?
so 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 the in her documentation, the agent said that she's married.
No, that
That she,
no, then she wasn't married. The agent said annulled marriage.
why?
Then maybe it was a mistake, perhaps. I don't know.
Okay.
Then now she wants to reapply now, but she's married now and she's bothered about how that and if that annulled marriage from her previous application will have an effect on the new application.
So at this point, it will depend on the dates. Like, did she marry? What was she married before that the agent made that mistake, or did she get married after?
No, she wasn't married then, so she got married after.
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's possible that you got married and all that marriage and remarried.
Yeah, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it,
So
it's fine. It's not a big deal.
okay, my daughter is 4 year old and has a visitor's visa that will last to 2025. Do I need to put her as a dependent? So in the
No.
application, no need.
Well, you in your application, anyways, you would add all your family members, right? So you're still going to add her even if she has a visitor's visa. But because she's 4, if the plan is for her to go to school, then you need to apply for a study permit. That's the new rule that any child of school age needs to get a study permit.
Okay. It's a family of five applying together with sufficient funds that has been there for a while, but wife who is actually studying is having the money yet. She's got a government job with low salary or advice. Okay, so this is a situation of maybe the person is earning 100,000 a month, but they have like 50 million in their bank account. So yeah, your source of funds does not
Source
equate
of
to money in
funds,
the account.
they need to show how that money got there.
Yeah, so if you have a lot of money that you can fund yourself and your source of funds does not reflect the money you have in your account, you must explain how the
You
money
will
got.
need to explain
Yeah,
if you sold a land, if you got an inheritance, if you sold, like, there has to be, the money just didn't appear, it came from somewhere. And that goes to people that also have your opening balance of your bank statement is 50 million naira. Mm-mm. Like, your opening balance can't just be 50 million. Where is that 50 million coming from? Right? You have to show where that money is coming from.
yeah. Okay, I'm going to take two more questions because man, the questions are so many. We cannot
Yeah,
take
we're
all the
already we're
questions
already at
today. Yes,
307.
yes, yeah. And Angela has to go too, so we cannot take all the questions today. My account has always been active and I have enough proof of funds that I transferred from various accounts and dollars that I sold. How do I explain this? I have RSA of over 30 million properties and my husband is not coming with me, but we all have visitors visa.
Yeah, it's still the same thing we've been talking about. You need to show documentation of how all that money came about.
Yeah. Okay, let's take.
Because that's the problem with all these companies that advertise this proof of funds thing, right? That they give people proof of funds because now they just think that if you just have money showing up, they're just asking where did that money come from. In the past, source of funds wasn't a thing at all. It never, at least 8, 7, even 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it wasn't a thing. They never would ask you for source of funds. But since we now have all these companies advertising that we can give you money, that's actually how they advertise. We can give you money for your proof of funds. I had someone contact me that day, and he was asking me, "Do you provide proof of funds?" I'm like, if you don't have a means to study, why are you even looking to study in the first place? And yes, agents will provide you with proof of funds, which is why most people would go that route. And when they mess things up for you, you begin to find solutions to it. But again, when you come into Canada, money doesn't grow on trees. You need to make sure you have your money to study while you're coming in.
Okay, so I'm going to take two more questions and we'll continue. If you are invalid in a country of residence, I think by invalid, the person means that if you're out
Illegal.
of status here and still waiting for visa, can one apply for a Canadian visa and show proof of pending visa to IRCC?
No,
Okay, so
because your application for that visa could come back as a no.
yeah,
An application in progress does not mean an approval. So if you apply with a pending document, your visa will be denied.
okay, yeah. So in fact, I know some people that it has happened to. Like I know some people personally that it has happened to. So yeah. Um, I was recently refused study visa based on three reasons. Not convinced I would stay back and doesn't support the requirement for temporary. Okay, so this person, this is not from GCMS, no, this is from that general refusal letter. So if you've been refused visa, you need to first of all order your GCMS notes so that we can know, so that you can see why you were denied. I'll take one last one and that's it. I'm trying to see. Oh, yes. Let's do this one. My funds invested in a microfinance bank. At the point, I require to print my bank statement of account for processing school or PR. When funds is moved to my account lump sum, will it be a showstopper?
No, it won't. It should be traceable, right? So you would bring the statements from your microfinance bank, and you would bring you. It will show the memo of how it was transferred into your new bank account. So, and I think I'd also give you a tip. If you're trying to do show transfer from one place to another, use a highlighter to highlight what you're trying to show, and also put in an explanation. You can put a number or an alphabet to label that document, and in that way it's traceable.
Okay. Oh wow, man, I'm already tired of talking. I don't know how people talk like professors. When I go to school, some professors teach for 3 hours straight. Like I don't know how they do it though. Okay, so Angela, can you please share your screen for me so that I can continue the presentation? Because if I share, I'm not able to see anything else. So I want to be able to see comments.
Okay, one moment.
So you share from slide 17.
Okay, sure. I'm trying to download it, but it's not. Oops.
Okay.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'll do it now. I think I have it.
Okay, is it possible to work and study? Yeah, in Canada, your study permit allows you to work for 20 hours per week. So yes, international students are able to work while they study for 20 hours per week. Is it possible to reapply without the GCMS note? Well, anything is possible, right? You can reapply without the GCMS note, but you will most likely be making the same mistake that you made before. If you, Angela, can't you hit share? Can you share?
Yeah, you can see it. I did.
I can't see it on the big screen. Do you guys see Angela's screen? Maybe it's just me. When I was sharing, where did you see? Did you see on the big screen? It's not. I can see it on your small.
I did.
Oh wow. I can't see it well.
You can see it well.
I can't even see it again.
Okay.
Try again. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So people are saying that they can't see it. So if your visa has been denied, request for GCMS notes before you reapply. Don't just go and reapply like that.
Zeno, can you see it now?
No, we can't see your screen. Looks like I may have to share. But if I put my screen in the slides in presentation mode, then I am not able to see anything here. So
Can you see it now?
no.
That's strange. StreamYard is sharing your screen. Can any other person see it? Okay, let's stop sharing.
If you can share, I'll have to share my own screen, but it's just that I won't see anything else here. I won't be able to see their questions. I won't be able to see, I won't be able to like converse.
Okay, maybe you share and finish the presentation then before you go ahead to take whatever questions that you might see. Because I tried it. I clicked share screen.
Okay, let me share again.
Because I'm sharing my entire screen. That's the option that. Can you see it? No?
No, we can't see it. I'm going to share.
Okay.
Sharing screen was okay. Yeah, I'm going to share. Um,
So I should stop sharing since you can't see it.
yeah. Stop sharing. I'll share.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do so that I can see. Okay, so we just completed the Q&A. For those of us just joining us, Angela had already gone over the presentation, talking about the 5 things. So I'm going to proceed now to, like, let's see what we can do here going forward. So I have questions for you, for those of you that are listening to me. Do you want to achieve? In fact, how many of us here have admissions? How many of us here have gotten admissions? Let me see. Show of hands. Yes, no. Let me know. How many of us here have gotten admissions? Yes, no. Yes, no. Show of hands. Okay, I see. It's a mix of yeses and noses. Noses. Okay, so I believe that some of you are in the visa application process, and even for those of us that have not gotten admission, very soon you are going to like get admission and you're going to go to the visa application process. So for everybody that is here, I believe that yeah, you are on this journey, right? So the questions I have for you is that do you want to achieve your study application success in your first or next application? So if it is your first application or if it is the next one you are reapplying again, do you want to achieve? Is it important to you that you achieve study abroad success? Do you value your peace of mind? Man, I know what it feels like when you have submitted an application that you are waiting. Do you value your peace of mind? Do you want to feel confident that you know what you are doing in every step of the Canadian study application process? Like if you don't have clarity or if you are confused, then you'll be lost. You don't even know what to do. You don't know what to expect. But do you want to feel confident knowing that you have done your best? Like Angela said, nobody can guarantee you visa application, but you can do your best to make sure that you have put your best foot forward to give you the best chances of success. So do you want to have that kind of confidence? Do you want to avoid the late change of plans that comes with visa rejections? Man, visa rejections, I've never been denied a visa before, but I've had close people that have been denied visas, and I know how heartbreaking it is. You waste your time, the money that you have spent. Some people even lose their, like, some of these schools have what they call the fees that you pay once you get admission. um some of those fees that you pay. So they don't refund. Some of these fees are non-refundable. Acceptance fee. Some people lose their acceptance fee in the process. So it's like it's a lot of losses that comes with it. And then some people have to live like another year in their country, maybe doing things that they did not want to do, or remaining unemployed if they were not employed before. So exactly, paying extra rent, the cost of reapplication, the time wasted. First of all, if your visa is denied, I think it costs about 200 and something dollars for you to reapply. Talk about all the other things that come with it. So it's something that you should keep in mind. So now you can either do nothing or you can do something different. So these are your options that you have to do today. You can either do nothing. Do nothing means that, yeah, you, as you are, you don't do anything, and that's okay too. Again, it depends on what everybody's goals, everybody's values, what their plans are. You can also seek advice. These are the options that you really have. Actually, you can seek guidance from somebody who has done it before. You can do a training or a course to learn how to do it before you apply. You can also seek a regulated, a licensed immigration consultant in Canada to represent your new application. That's somebody like Angela. So you can seek a licensed immigration consultant to represent your application. So these are the options. We all know how much licensed immigration consultant costs, because some of you are in my DMs always telling me that you use agents because consultants are expensive for you. So again, it depends on what your pocket is saying. So what does doing different, what does it mean to you? If we were to apply for your visa today, I'm asking a question now. Tell me, which approach will you take? Are you just going to do it anyhow, or will you be interested in like taking a training, find somebody that has done it before and succeeded? And the fact that somebody has done it before and succeeded, you before you want somebody to help you with something as serious as visa, you want somebody that has a track record of success. One of success that it happened for this person once, it does not make that person an expert. So these are some things that you need to keep in mind and think about when you are doing these visa applications. So now, with all of these four options I've presented here, which one jumps out at you? Will you be interested in like having an RCIC? These people, they charge like $1,500 upwards. A training course so that you can learn the ropes, look for somebody who has done it before, or do nothing. Okay, somebody asking if Angela can make it flexible for you people. You know that Angela is my person, right? And before I came here, I'd already spoken to her about like, Angela, how can we help these people? Because I knew that you people would ask. So before I came here, I'd already spoken to Angela, like, Angela, what's the way forward? What can we do? Okay, moving on. So I'd like to introduce the Canada Study Visa Masterclass. Like I said before, I'd asked Angela, what can we do for these people? How can we help them? Again, I know that people have different financial capacity. Not everybody can afford an RCIC. I sent a few people to Angela, and some of them can afford, some of them they cannot afford, and they don't do anything. And some of them are left heartbroken because truly, some people don't have the money, right? They can't afford it. So I've spoken to her, I'm like, Angela, how can we help my people? I cannot do everything. And we have put together the Canada Study Visa Masterclass. I'm going to go over what it entails with you guys. So please stay until the end, because at the end of this thing, we're going to also take some questions too. So the aim of the Canada Study Visa is to help you to achieve visa success in one application. What's it going to provide? It's going to provide you with step-by-step guidance. You are going to be learning from Angela. She's the expert. Everybody that I have referred to Angela that she did visa application for, that she presented on the application, all of them got their visas approved. Even the ones that we knew were difficult from the get-go. Some people's situation is difficult. They got their visa approved because she's able to tell a story and make their situation make sense to the visa officer. And then
even those that had previous denials.
Yes, even people with previous denials as well. And also avoid delays. And this masterclass is going to help you avoid delays and disappointments from rejections. So you see that when this masterclass was put together, we were thinking about you. So let's go on. Now, in this Canada visa masterclass, what do you get? Pay attention here, and if you have questions, please be noting down your questions so that you can ask me your questions and I'll be happy to respond to them. What do you get in this masterclass? So the first thing you get is the training videos, Canada Study Visa Masterclass training videos. You saw that we didn't have enough time to put everything together for you. And again, we also don't want you to get confused. This is the reason why this masterclass, this training has been broken down into different segments to give you the different scenarios, the different cases, explaining everything in detail to you so that it can help you for you to do your application by yourself without spending thousands of dollars paying an RCIC or paying an agent that you are not even sure that they know what they are doing. Again, like I said, I have nothing against agents, but I don't recommend them because they have gotten a lot of people into trouble. So you get like complete training videos that covers everything that you need to know about study visas. We are going to cover all the situations, all the different scenarios. Now, in addition to training, we know that sometimes you may get trained, but you also need help with other things. Like a lot of you have asked, you get study plan template. This is very important. We had mentioned before that with visas, anything is possible. You just need to be able to tell your story. Where do you tell the story is in your study plan. So it's important that you have the idea of the things that you cover in your study plan. Now, I know that many people will just go online and go and say, okay, download Canada study plan template. Don't do that because you don't even know if the success of that template that you are using. Also, plagiarism is a big thing abroad too. So you don't want to just go and use any study plan. Then consent letter template. So in addition to this consent letter template, in the training video, we are going to explain in detail people that don't have, like the other parent is not there to give consent. What can you do? What letters to provide? How can you provide these letters? That will be covered as well. Then for the people that their spouses are there that want to give consent letter, you get the template. So that basically it should just be plug and play, basically. The letter of explanation template. So you are going with your spouse. You want to attach a letter of explanation for your spouse. You get the template for the letter of explanation. So you have a financial sponsor. I heard a lot of you asking me about different sponsors. Financial sponsor. How do you write that letter? You get that template as well. Now, all of these things is going to help you to eliminate confusion. And it's going to help you to save time by preparing your application fast so that you can apply fast. Then we also have the tools like proof of funds calculator. So you get the proof of funds calculator. Now, let me tell you why it's important for you to apply fast. Now, let me tell you something. So some people, they submit their visa application, maybe they submit the application late or something, and then if they're supposed to resume school in January, visa does not come until like February. You have lost your admission, and then by then the school cancels your admission, and now they tell you that, oh, the next time you can resume is in September. So this is what waste of time it will, like it's time lost. This is time that you have been putting towards your relocation journey, towards your path to permanent residence, but you spend it back at home, not knowing what to do. And then if you decide to apply for another admission in that school, you have to now inform IRCC, and then you may have to reapply for your visa again. It's like starting afresh. You want to avoid that. So proof of funds calculator, people were asking me, how do we calculate proof of funds? So together we have prepared like a proof of funds calculator. Again, it's plug and play. All you have to do is just input your number, student, spouse, children, how many children, you input the number, and then it spits it out for you so that it's easy at a glance. You know that you can trust this figure at a glance. Then also you get lists. Study visa document list. What are the documents you need for your study visa? Both the ones that are compulsory and the ones that are optional. How can you show different things? Like, for example, it's going to be grouped into like proof of ties. What documents can you use to show proof of ties to be listed there? Proof of funds. What documents can you use? What documents can you not use? It's very important too. It will be listed there. So, and all of that has to show admissibility. So everything will be listed there for you. That's the list of documents so that you don't miss it. Then we went ahead because we're thinking further ahead, because remember, I will tell you that we want you to thrive as well. So list of daycare providers per province, because if you have children, by the time you have applied for your visa, you need to be planning what next. When my visa comes, what next do I need for my children? We are helping you to be proactive. List of temporary accommodations. How do you find temporary accommodations? You can start looking at all those things while you have submitted your visa. Then list of tools to combine documents. There was somebody that I know, the visa was denied because the visa officer could not see, the bank statement was not clear. Why was the bank statement not clear? Because the person had combined the documents together, because the person had a lot of documents. Combined the documents, it made the bank statement not clear. Visa officer could not read it. The visa was denied. This person had proof of funds, but the visa was denied on the grounds of proof of funds, because visa officer could not see it. So now there's a way for you to combine these documents so that it is still readable. You can still explain it. So we'll give you the list of tools that you can use to combine these documents. So all of this list again would help you to save time, to save wasted effort, and to act fast. So all of these things put together, this is the part that I like, where we talk about how much you pay, because I'm sure that some people will be expecting that, wow, everything with Zeno, maybe it will be, I care about you guys, right? And we know what the present economic situation is, global though, but I know that some people are feeling it more than some people, right? We know what the economic situation is. And like I said, I told Angela, I want to help my people. How can we help these people? Something that is affordable so that they can afford it and they can be able to do it. So all of these things, you get it at the regular price is $297 for a 1 month access. But for those people here today, you get lifetime access. So it means that anywhere you are, even if you have not gotten admission yet, you can still take advantage of this $97 price, lifetime access. So that if it's next month you want to start your visa application, you can go there and log in and access your masterclass anytime you want to do it. So that's what you get. But this price, $97 lifetime access, is only valid for the next 24 hours. Today is Monday, so for the next 48 hours rather. Today is Monday. It means that by midnight of Wednesday, this offer is no longer valid. So this is the opportunity. This is the opportunity now for you to take advantage of this offer. I'm going to share the link here. I'm going to share the link here for us to get this offer. So you don't want to, this one, you don't want to sleep on it, because it's not going to come back and you will not find this anywhere else. First of all, not a lot of people offer trainings for visa masterclass, because most of the people that are light that can offer it, they are they are offering the service for people for more money. But I've told Angela that these people, many of them cannot afford to pay the consultants, so they can only afford a small token, right? And she has agreed to put all of these things together for only $97. So if I were you, I will rush now and take advantage of this offer. I'm going to share the link. Oh, that is, so don't worry, we have you in mind. I'm going to share the link now for those people that want to take advantage of this offer now, before I continue my presentation. I have one of my team members here. I'm going to, Egosa, I've shared the link with you. Can you please post it there? Okay, so for the next 48 hours is $97. After that, it goes to the full price of $297 for only 1 month access. But if you pay within the next 48 hours, you get it for $97 lifetime access. And yes, you can pay in Nigeria. Egosa, can you please help me paste the link? Angela, let me also share the link with you if you can help me to paste it too. Yes, you can pay in Naira and you can pay in other currencies too. Angela, can you help me paste the link there? So moving on. So how can you pay? So the first thing is to click on the link provided in the chat box. Angela is going to post the link there. If you are paying in Naira, you can use the seller link. And if you are paying in another currency or from another location, you can use this other link. Angela, I sent you 2 links. So you can use the second link. Then when you do that, you take a screenshot of your payment confirmation and send it to my email at zeno@successfactorsmigration.com. Okay, somebody saying, what do you mean by lifetime access? It means that it's not going to, your access to the course is not going to expire. So we're going to give you a username and password for you to log into classroom, where you will find your masterclass and all your other documents that we give, all the supporting documents support you with the masterclass. You have it forever. It's not like you would say next time you try to log in and it's gone. You cannot log in again. You cannot access it again. So that's what I mean by lifetime access. So it's $97. And also, I always like to give free gifts. So for the first 47 people that sign up, you get a free gift. Who wants to unbox this gift? Let me tell you what the gift is. So the first 47 people you get, the first thing you get is 20 things to avoid in your visa application to prevent visa denial. So like you're going to get the training plus the ebook, 20 key things for you to avoid. Sometimes we know what to do, but many times we don't know what to not do. If you know what to do and you know what to not do, then you have set yourself up for success. So 20 things to do. Angela, please, can you share the link in the thing?
I did.
I don't see it in the chat, in the main chat. Okay, I see that you shared it in the private chat. Let me copy it from there. Okay, so for the first 47 people, you get these 20 things to do. And then you also get study plan sample. Okay, so I've shared the links. So you also get study plan sample. Now, this study plan sample is going to be like a well-detailed. So you got in the template a well-detailed study plan so that you know what good looks like. So you get study plan sample. And then also for qualified people, and I'm going to qualify it here, you get free admission processing. What free admission processing means is that we'll help you to apply for your admission. Free admission processing for the first. So these are for the first 47 people. Again, I said qualified candidates. Now let me qualify it so that you can understand. So the people that are eligible to get free admission processing are the people that are able to fund their studies. So you have your tuition fees and you like, all I need is just admission. I have my tuition fees, I have my proof of funds. All you need is just admission. You get free admission processing. But you have to be among the first 47 people. Imagine that you get all of these things for only $97. It is just a steal. Like this is just it's cheating. Like if I were you, the way I will rush it and I'll buy for myself and buy for all my family members, because you will not see this deal again. It's better you buy it now than for lifetime access for $97 than for you to come in the future or come after 48 hours and you are paying $297 for a 1 month access. So if I were you, I'll take up this offer now. If you have questions, please put your questions in the chat, okay? So again, how to pay? I've posted the links here. I've posted the links in the chat. You can see the payment links. Use those payment links to pay, and then screenshot your proof of payment and send it to my email. So reserve your slots now and take your Canadian dream into a reality. It starts from a small step. Getting the right knowledge is very important when you want to relocate abroad. So again, I've shared the payment links. Use the payment and use the payment links to pay. So Jennifer is asking that, for Joanne, what if we attend the class now, we have not gotten admission? Will you still be available to assist when the time for visa application comes? What do you mean by assist, for Uche now? Because we have provided you with the training videos, everything you need to know, plus all of the tools and all of the templates that you need. So when you say assist, what does assist mean to you? I need to understand so that we can be on the same page. Mayowa is saying Canada permanent resident masterclass. Mayowa, are you asking for Canada permanent resident masterclass? Okay, so moving on, let's talk about some testimonials here. Angela, do you want to present these testimonials? You remember this family, right? Grace, I think you're muted.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so this is so the first one, this person, again, these are Angela's success stories. So this person is she had gotten her visa denied and application was quite solid, but when the visa, like when our GCMS notes came, sometimes some of us, we get over documented, such that when you get over documented, you put too much, both relevant and irrelevant documents, you confuse the visa officer. And when the visa officer, they say confused mind takes no action. When the visa officer is confused like that, it now becomes a situation whereby they now deny your visa because it's confused. Again, this is why the list of documents are very important, because some people will put their village story and attach these proofs. So for this person, our situation was that, in fact, we could tell that visa from the GCMS note, the visa officer was confused. Everything was all over the place. And then she came, she met Angela, and Angela took up the case, applied for her in a very short time. The visa was approved, and she was so excited. Then this lady, this is another lady. Wow, this visa application, because I was part of this process. Angela represented her, but I know this lady, I was part of the process, and I know that there were some challenges that was pointed out to her about the whole documentation, her proof of funds and whatnot. But even with those challenges, Angela was still able to explain it. Explain again. This is why we talk about explanation. And it's important that we learn how to explain it in the study plan. And she wrote a supporting letter to explain everything, such that even when the visa officer could see that, oh, this is an hiccup, but something has already blocked it. The explanation has put it there to explain what this hiccup is and how to mitigate the hiccup. So that's what happened. And this lady got her visa approved with her two children. As I speak to you now, they are in Calgary living there.
Zina, I also think her unique situation was also that she had the proof of funds, but she didn't have the source of funds, and she had never really worked in a. I'm trying to find the right words to use. She had never really worked in an organization. So just like you have money comes to you, but there's no documentation of how that money comes. So again, it's more about your documentation and how you're able to put it together.
So Angela was able to put that application together, and even her, she could not believe it, because she had also been denied before. Even her could not, like, she couldn't believe it when the visa was approved. So these are just two case studies. We have so many others, but because of time, we cannot go into all of these details. But I just want to show us that um even though we have unique challenges, like, there's a way around everything when it comes to visa application. And again, the way you package your visa application will determine the outcome. You need to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward to increase your chances of getting your visas approved. And this masterclass is going to teach you everything that you need to know regarding the visa application. So I see some of you asking if you can get one-on-one help. So are you asking about representation? You want Angela to represent you on your visa application? Is that what you're asking? If that's the case, maybe Angela, maybe we can just let them know what the price is here, so that so that they can come if they want you to represent them on their application. Hello, are you saying anything? We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so for one-on-one representation, sorry, my website is hiscaris.com. If you go on my website and you want to schedule that, it's on the shop tab, and we charge $1,550 USD.
Okay, yeah. So if you want Angela to present you, so that's for the students. If you are applying with dependents, there's additional charge for each of your dependents that you're applying for. So yeah, that's the charge if you want her to represent you on your visa application. However, if you cannot afford that, you can take advantage of this, learn, so that you can do your visa application by yourself. So here I've shared the link with you guys. I'm going to share an email as well. I'm not able to pin the link here. I'm going to share an email as well. So make sure that you take advantage of this offer now. Lifetime access. If anybody has any questions regarding the offer, let's ask the questions. Otherwise, we can call it a day. So does anybody have any questions about this visa masterclass? How can we calculate proof of funds? I just said it, that as part of this, you get a proof of funds calculator. As part of the visa masterclass, you get a proof of funds calculator that all you have to do is plug and play. What will the 1550 USD cover? It's going to cover just the visa application. It does not include fees. It's for her to represent you, to help you do your application. How can one pay through Visa card? So use the link. If you click on the link, you'll be able to pay. You'll be able to pay through your Visa card. If you click on the link, you'll be able to use your Visa card to pay. So just click on that link and you can use the card to pay. Okay? Okay, so I see that we don't have any more questions coming in here. I'm going to round up the session. I would like to remind us that this offer is valid until midnight on Wednesday. So if you come after midnight on Wednesday, you are going to pay $297 and you're going to get only 1 month access. After, from the day you pay, 30 days after that, your access is closed. You want more access, you have to pay again. But if you take the offer within the next 48 hours, you pay $97 and you get that for lifetime access. So if I were you, I'm going to take this offer right now because I would not want to slack. But yeah. So my email address has been shared. And I'm going to stop sharing here. Okay. I'm going to share the link again with you guys, and then we can call it a day. I can let you guys go to do all the other things that you were doing before you came for this live session. Have you learned anything today? Did you learn anything new today? Yeah, so I've shared the links again. Did you learn anything new today? Let's see. And Dara says done. Dara. I see that some people, I can see like some people are trying to be part of the 47 people. Like some people they don't take chances at all. At all. And that's my kind of person. Like when there's an opportunity in front of you, the people that succeed are people that take action fast. They go from the idea to taking action, and they do it fast. And I can see that some persons are already saying that they are done, so it means that they are taking action. Okay, so in the absence of
Sorry, I have some people sending messages on IG asking for my email and my name on Instagram. But if you're messaging me on Instagram, then I think you have my handle already. So I don't know, Zeno, let me put it here so that you can post. And please, if you're sending a message and you're just putting hi, we're not going to respond to it. You have to put a detailed message. And also on our website, our fees are 1,550 USD. You can go on there and look at it. If you don't want to pay that amount, please don't message and ask for a discount. The amount that is on the website is what it is if you're going through our website. Our email is info@hiscaris.com, and our Instagram handle is Hiscaris Immigration. Zeno, if you can help me post it, please.
yeah, I tagged you in all my Instagram posts, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And after this, I'm going to send everybody that's here that signed up. I'm going to send an email, and we'll share the payment link. We'll also share the contact information, so you receive it. You would receive it via email as well. Okay. So I'm going to share everything again via email. So all of you that's provided your email addresses, you're going to receive it via email too. So some people asking about online transfer and whatnot. So just stay glued to your emails. We're going to share an email with you with all of these options. Online transfer, Western Union. But the best thing to do is if you have a card, it's easier and faster to make payments. But we're going to share it again via email. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in today. It was a nice session. I hope that you've learned something today, because a lot of things were shared here. I hope that you have learned something today, and I look forward. I can see that my phone is beeping. Like, so people are claiming this 47 people slots. I would not miss it if I were you, because of all the perks that it comes with, right? So and we'll see you guys. For the people that signed up, trust us, we'll see you guys in the visa masterclass, where everything will be broken down in detail for you, because again, like I said, 1 hour is not enough to teach everything here. So guys, you guys take care, and have a good evening. have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you, Angela, for joining us today. You guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye. So expect our email. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
It is not the same thing as study abroad masterclass. This is visa masterclass. It's not the same thing as the study abroad masterclass. Please take notes. All right, guys. Bye.